Hello, everybody. Welcome to creating a resume using Word. The objective of this class is for you to learn the necessary tools and steps to build a resume using Word. Now, that is very clear. I said here you're going to learn the necessary steps. Word is a very extensive software or program. So teaching you everything will take a long time. I myself don't even know all the corners of this program. Like I said, is very extensive and there's lots of things that you can do. So I'm just going to show you the necessary steps to build a simple resume, which is actually all you need. You don't need colors, you don't need embellishments, you don't need any of that stuff. Now, something that I want to make clear is that the examples that you will see presented in this presentation will be in Spanish, not the text in the slides, but the text in the pictures. However, that does not matter because you're not going to learn how to write the sentences here or what you need to write in the resume. All you're going to learn are the steps, where the buttons are and how to place them, and I'm going to show you your way around those buttons. So that's really the part that matters. The resume part here is not important. There's actually another presentation for how to build a resume in English, of course, and that is going to be linked here at the end of this presentation. Now, this presentation is taking in consideration the users of Microsoft computers, not Apple. So the images that you're going to see are mostly in relation to Microsoft computers, especially this image right here on this slide. So the first thing that you want to do is, of course, you want to pull up the Word document. You want to start a Word document so you can build your document. So how do you find that? Once you have turned your computer on and you're looking at your screen, you're going to go to the bottom left corner and you're going to see a looking glass, which is the icon for doing a search within your computer. And you're just going to type Word, just like you see with the green arrow below in the left bottom corner of this image. Now, this may look different. Also, if you look at the arrow, where you look at the where the looking glass is located, right to the left of that looking glass, you see a square icon. That icon is for Microsoft. So basically, you can access a lot of the parts of the computer through that icon. Sometimes you need to click there, depending on the version of the software that you have, that you may have to click on that icon to pull out the looking glass and do a search. So it may vary, but it's very simple. It's either right there or you just need to click on that square icon to pull up the looking glass and do your search for Word, and simply type Word just like you see right there on the right hand side of the looking glass and press enter. Sometimes you don't have to press enter and the logo will appear like you see right here on this next slide. As you see, the arrow is now above the Word icon. What you want to do is place your cursor using your mouse and click on that icon twice very quickly. Click, click, and it will select that icon and it will open the program. So it's very simple. After you open Word, this is what you will see. You will see that you have a lot of different templates that you can select from. This is utilized for a variety of things. We're not going to use any of that. We're actually going to start with a blank document. Now, if you look at all of those templates on the very top left corner, the very first one on the left top corner, right below, it's highlighted in blue. It's very hard to see, but it says blank document. Okay. Now, you can click directly there with your mouse, or you can go the other route where you see the green arrow. The green arrow right in front of the arrow, it says file. You can actually click right there where it says file, and then you'll see right below file is going to show up a drop down menu, meaning that menu wasn't there. It's going to show up once you press the file button or option. And then you want to select new document. So select new document, like you see right now, right there in front of the green arrow. And if you do everything correctly, you will end up with this. So once you open the program, it's going to look very similar to this. It's going to be a blank document, and then you're going to have options right above that document. So all of those icons that you see above that document, those are all commands that you can utilize to build different documents. But today, like I said, we're going to keep it simple. With this presentation, the majority of your focus is going to be on the Home tab. So I want you to look at the green arrow in the image on the top left corner, and right in front of the arrow, you'll see it says Home. So that is the tab. Each one of those: Home, Insert, Draw, Design, Layout, References, Mailing, Review, View, and Tell Me, those are all different tabs. So as you click on all of those menus and all of those icons that you see above the document, they keep changing as you press on those different tabs. But don't be afraid to, explore your way around the document. But today I'm just showing you the basics. So stay in the Home tab so you don't lose sight of the tools that I'm going to talk to you about today. Now, the next thing that I want you to notice is that line in front of the green arrow. That little line, that is where your letters are going to appear as you enter the letters on your keyboard. So that is your point of reference. That way you know where the next sentence or the next word is going to appear. Okay, so it blinks as you are looking at it. It's going to be blinking. It's always blinking. If it's not blinking, it means something is wrong. Maybe your system or program got frozen and you may have to close the program and restart it, but it should be blinking. Now start typing in your contact information. So this is the first section. Like I said, refer to the other class so you learn, so you know what I am talking about if you don't know what the contact information is. In a way, you should watch the other presentation first before you actually watch this. So this makes a little bit more sense, because the other one is all about how to think about the resume, and I'm not showing you how to use Word. But go in whichever order you desire, but I'm not going to be discussing the parts of the resume in this presentation, so you may find yourself a little bit lost in the process if you have not watched the English resume class. So highly recommend that you watch that first. But anyway, I continue. Start by typing your contact information, and then once you're finished typing your name, which is the first part, the first thing that you put on that resume, you just press enter, like you can see on the image on the bottom left corner of the slide. And then right above that image, you can see a diagram of what a keyboard should look like. All keyboards, some depending on the model of the computer, may be a little bit different, but you will always have an enter button on the right hand side of the keyboard. So just look around. It may look a little bit different. Sometimes it's a little big. But it says enter, so it should be easy to find. But enter in this document is used to create a new line. Now, if you look at the left image where you see the document, in front of the green arrow inside that red box, as you see, the name has already been typed. And then after pressing enter, the cursor, that blinking line, has moved one space below. And then you can continue by typing your address, which is what goes after your name, and then you press enter again to either split your address, because if you don't do that, then you will have a long line for your address, and that will look very awkward. You want to stack your address just like sometimes you see it on in the mail when they send you mail and you see your address and it's nicely typed and is usually 2 lines, 2 or 3 lines. So try to do that right by pressing enter. So for example, you can just type the number of your address. So let's say 000 Feather Huck Drive, and then press enter to then continue with El Paso, Texas, and blah, blah, blah. And that's how you complete that first section. It's super simple. And this is just reminding you, like what I said just in the previous slide. And I apologize, sometimes I just get ahead of myself. But it's what I told you earlier, that enter in this situation, when you're building a resume, enter is used to create a new line of text, just to move your cursor one space below and advance your document. Now, continue typing your contact information like I was saying earlier, type and enter to create a nice, compact contact information. Like you see right there on the image below here on this slide, the entire contact information right there is right there, is in the corner, and it looks nice and tidy. It's not all over the place. The address is not in one line like you see right here. So that's how you want it to look like. Okay. Now, after you do that, if you look right below the contact information, you notice that there is space for one line, and then there's the cursor, the line where your letters appear. You do this by pressing enter twice. So that's how you do it. That's how you create space between one section and the next, is by pressing enter 1 or 2 times. Now, something that I forgot to include was that if you feel that you created too much space between one section and the next, remember to press the key that says backspace, okay? Backspace. So that is BACKSPACE, backspace. And then you can go back. And back up on the form. Okay. With that said, as you see in the example here, pressing enter 2 or 3 times now gets you ready for the next section. Now, the next section in the English resume version is the objective. But I'm not going to include the objective here because the objective is extremely easy. So I'm going to skip that section and go to skills, just to show you how to use the bullet point buttons. But first, all right, so now you're ready to type the title for the next section. And that section is skills. Just like you see at the bottom of the slide, it's in blue. Now, nothing in your resume is going to have colors, okay? The examples that I use do not have color. I am just only using color here to make it stand out and you know where to look. But that's what it should look like in black, of course. Now, how do you type the colon, those 2 dots that you see right there? Well, you do this by pressing the shift button. So I want you to look at the image below, and there are 3 arrows. So the top arrow is pointing at the key that has the colon and the semicolon. Now, there are 2 symbols there. So the semicolon, which is the one that has the period and the comma, that's the one below, it's not the one in front of the arrow, okay? That one is the normal symbol. So all of those keys that you see with two symbols, the symbol at the bottom is always the symbol that the key has been programmed to type in, okay, to record. In order to use the above symbol, you want to press the shift key. Now, this is how it works. You have to press the shift key first. And you want to keep the pressure on that key, okay? Keep your finger on that key, keep the pressure, keep it down. And then you go ahead and you press the button that you want. In this case, it's going to be the one with the colon. And if you do this right, you will end up with what you see at the bottom. Now, what you see at the bottom, right above the green arrow in the image, is actually skills in Spanish, habilidades. But don't worry about that. What I want you to look is at the way that it looks. It's the word, the title for that section, and then the colon at the end. And then once you have done that, you can press enter for to go right below and then start your list of skills, which, like I said, that is actually explained in the other presentation, how to build this section. Now, so once you have created that that part, the title of the section with the colon, your next step is to find the bullet points and create your list of skills with bullet points. Okay, so you can use bullet points or you can use numbers. Some people use numbers, but and some of the examples that I use have numbers, but mainly most people actually in reality use bullet points. The reason why I put numbers is that so you can also get an idea of what it looks like. Now, if you look above your document where you have all the symbols, if you're still in the Home tab, you should find these three buttons. It's all right there towards the very top of the window where the program opens. Okay, now you see three buttons right here. The first button on the very left, as you see, it has three blue dots or squares. So that is 4 bullet points. Then the second one that has 1, 2, and 3 in blue, that one is to create your list with numbers. And then the third one that has like a number and a letter and a letter I, that one is to create your list using letters, either capital letters or lowercase letters. Once you have figured out how you want to create that list, the next step is very simple. All you got to do is press that button right there, that icon. Just put your cursor with your mouse right above it, and you don't have to click twice. Okay, that's another misconception. Some people think that in order to do a specific command, you have to click twice on everything. That's not true. Sometimes clicking twice on something may ruin what you are doing, but in this case, it's only once. Any of those commands that you press with that you select with your mouse in the Word program, you only need to click on them once, just for your information. But that's all you got to do. As you see right there in front of the green arrow, you have the button with the 3 blue dots. Just click on it and the bullet point will appear. Just like you see right here. Now, in this example, if you look at the image, I have put the title of my section and then I have pressed enter twice to create a little bit of room between the title and my list. And now all you got to do is type your skill. Just like you see right here in this example, I typed in good communicator, and then I pressed enter for the next bullet point. Now, this is the good thing. Once you start a list with bullet points or numbers or letters, once you press enter, the next space is going to give you a bullet point automatically, or a number or a letter. It happens automatically because it goes into this little bullet point list mode, and it'll stay like that until you get out of that mode, or until you are finished with that section. But once you start a bullet point, every time you press enter, you will get another bullet point, just for your information. So that makes it easy. You don't have to go back and press the button every time. Now, once you have figured out the bullet points, you want to continue using the same technique until you are satisfied with that section. So until you have enough skills. Remember that there is a rule of thumb on how many skills you should list. So for that, refer to the other presentation that is linked at the end of this presentation. Um, Once you finish, you're going to press enter, right? Once you finished your last skill and you're like, okay, this is my last one, you're going to press enter again. And of course, you will going to get another bullet point that you are not going to use. And you're going to see that on the next slide. I'm going to tell you about it and point it out. So all you got to do is press the enter button one more time, the enter key, and then that's going to go down once more. So what happens is that it kind of tells the system, okay, this person is done, and this person is not going to create another bullet point, and this person is moving on from this section. So it deletes the extra bullet point, and then now you have um, double space to start your next section. And this is what I mean. Let's say that this list is only going to be 4 skills. So as you see, there are 4 skills right there, and where you see the red arrow, that is the extra bullet point you are not going to use. So if you press enter again, then this is what you'll have. What happens is that the cursor, the stick that you see right there at the bottom corner, the bottom left corner of the red rectangle, that is where your letters are going to appear. So that is, as you see, it's moved back to the left margin, and it happens automatically. So basically press enter twice every time you're finished with any bullet point. Like you see right here, this section is not the skill section. This is the next section that goes after the skill section. And as you see, it's the same thing. It's actually the same technique. You get the bullet point, you type, and then once you're finished, you press enter twice, and the cursor moves automatically to the left margin. The biggest difference between the skills section and the experience section is that, of course, in the experience section, like you see in the red rectangle in this image, you have sentences, right? Like I said, everything is explained in the other presentation. However, all of these sentences are one sentence, okay? So as you see, it's, sorry, one line. So it stays just in one line, it doesn't go down anymore. However, if my sentences were longer and I get to the very end of the document, I am not going to press enter again. Because what happens is that if you press enter again, your sentence will be broken by another bullet point. And you don't want that. That is not going to make sense because it's the same message, right? It's the second half of that sentence. So what you want to do instead is continue to type. Okay, so if you look at the image here in this slide, you'll see that the sentence is long enough to where it got to the end on the right hand side of the margin, and then it went down automatically. So you do not have to press enter to go to the second line when you are typing a long sentence. Remember that every time you press enter, you will get another bullet point. And in reality, that's pretty much it. That's actually all you need to learn to build your resume. Once you learn how to create space, how to type, and once you learn where the bullet points are, that is all you need to build a simple, straight to the point resume. And all you got to do from that point on is use the same steps over and over. Just make sure that you are in the home tab, like you see right in front of the red arrow in the image below, so you have access to the same buttons the entire time. Otherwise, there may be a point where you're like, oh, well, where is the bullet point button? If you don't find it, click on the home option and they will show up. Here, the image looks a little bit bigger. This is all you need to complete your resume, the home tab. Now, remember to look at the other presentation to actually learn how to build a resume, how to build the sentences, how to think about it. And that is basically the theory of resume and how you should present yourself. This is just how to use the tools and which tools to use, okay, to build your resume. So they go together. You just have to watch the other one first so this one makes sense. Now, if you forget what the next step is going to be, if you type a sentence and you're like, oh my God, what do I do next? You can start this presentation again from the beginning because, like I said, the steps are the same. And that way you can refresh your memory so you can go back and forth between that symbol. Another thing is explore. Please do not be uncomfortable. The computer is not going to break. Word is not going to stop working. Feel free to explore and to play around with the bullet points, with the way that you build your sentences. At the end, you are the master of your own life and of your own resume. So if you discover that there's a different way that you want to present yourself, you could take that risk if you want to. But of course, the way that I'm telling you is the safest, most professional way to present a resume. And I would suggest that you stick to it. Of course, as you gain more experience and as you get better in writing these resumes and thinking about them, you might be able to add more. You will feel more confident building your resume, and you will be able to play around a little bit more with your words, your skills, your sentences, and all the components of the resume. And that is it, guys. I mean, I could tell you different things, but it's just as simple as that. It really is a matter of you guys getting comfortable with Word and with the mouse and how to use the computer. This is actually very simple, guys. I encourage you to not be afraid to try it. And you have any questions, just reach out to Ayuda, reach out to us, and we will help you out. Thank you. Bye.